Chapter 1: Escape to Paradise. Chloe Collins stood at the edge of the bustling airport terminal, her heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and excitement. The past year had been a whirlwind of heartbreak and disappointment, leaving her feeling adrift and disconnected. When she stumbled upon an ad for a secluded island resort in the Caribbean, it felt like a sign. She needed a break from her life, a chance to heal and rediscover herself. The flight to the island was smooth, with Chloe's anticipation growing as the plane descended over a sea of turquoise waters and lush greenery. She felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in months. Stepping off the plane, the warm, fragrant air enveloped her, and she took a deep breath, letting the tropical breeze carry away her worries. As she made her way to the resort's reception area, Chloe marveled at the beauty of the island. Palm trees swayed gently, and vibrant flowers bloomed in every direction. The resort itself was a collection of charming bungalows, each nestled in its own private corner of paradise. "Welcome to Isla del Corazon," a cheerful voice greeted her. Chloe turned to see a smiling woman with sun-kissed skin and bright eyes. "I'm Maria, the resort manager. We're delighted to have you here." "Thank you," Chloe replied, managing a small smile. "I'm Chloe Collins. I've been looking forward to this trip." Maria handed her a refreshing tropical drink and a key to her bungalow. "We hope you find everything you need to relax and unwind. If there's anything you require, don't hesitate to ask." Chloe nodded and made her way to her bungalow, savoring the peace and quiet. Inside, the room was a perfect blend of rustic charm and modern comfort, with large windows offering stunning views of the ocean. She set her suitcase down and walked out onto the private deck, letting the sound of the waves wash over her. That evening, Chloe decided to explore the resort. She wandered down to the beach, where a bonfire was crackling, and a group of guests were gathered, laughing and sharing stories. She felt a pang of loneliness, but pushed it aside, determined to make the most of her time here. "Mind if I join you?" a deep voice asked from behind her. Chloe turned to see a tall, handsome man with piercing blue eyes and a relaxed smile. He looked like he belonged here, his tanned skin and casual attire perfectly in sync with the island vibe. "Not at all," Chloe replied, gesturing to the empty spot beside her. "I'm Chloe. Max," he introduced himself, extending a hand. "I run this place." Surprised, Chloe shook his hand. "You own the resort?" Max nodded. "Guilty as charged. I bought it a few years ago, looking for a change myself." "It's been an adventure, to say the least." As they talked, Chloe found herself opening up to Max in a way she hadn't with anyone in a long time. There was something about his easygoing demeanor and genuine interest in her that made her feel at ease. They shared stories of their lives, their dreams, and their heartbreaks, the conversation flowing effortlessly. By the time the bonfire had died down, Chloe felt a connection with Max that she couldn't explain. As they walked back to her bungalow, the moon casting a silvery glow over the island, Max paused. "Chloe, I hope you find what you're looking for here. This island has a way of healing broken hearts." Touched by his words, Chloe smiled. "Thank you, Max. I think I already have." As she closed the door behind her, Chloe felt a sense of calm wash over her. For the first time in a long while, she believed that maybe, just maybe, this escape to paradise was the beginning of something new and beautiful. Chapter 2: Meeting Max. The morning sun filtered through the bamboo shades, casting a warm glow over Chloe's bungalow. She stretched lazily, feeling more rested than she had in months. Today was her first full day on Isla del Corazon, and she was determined to make the most of it. After a quick shower, she slipped into a sundress and headed to the main lodge for breakfast. The lodge was a picturesque open-air structure, with wooden beams and thatched roofs. The scent of fresh coffee and tropical fruits filled the air. Chloe's stomach rumbled in response, reminding her that she hadn't eaten much during her travels the previous day. She found a seat overlooking the ocean and marveled at the beauty of the island. Just as she was about to take her first bite of a delicious-looking mango, a familiar voice interrupted her thoughts. "Good morning, Chloe." She looked up to see Max, the resort owner she had met by the bonfire the night before. He was dressed casually in a linen shirt and shorts, his hair tousled by the ocean breeze. His easy smile made her heart skip a beat. "Good morning, Max," she replied, feeling a flush of warmth in her cheeks. "I didn't expect to see you so early. I like to greet our guests and make sure everything is perfect for them," he said, pulling out a chair and sitting across from her. "How did you sleep?" "Like a baby," Chloe admitted. "This place is amazing." "It's exactly what I needed." "I'm glad to hear that," Max said, his eyes twinkling with genuine delight. "Have you had a chance to explore the island yet?" "Not yet," Chloe replied. "I was thinking of taking a walk along the beach and maybe doing some sightseeing." Max's smile broadened. "I'd be happy to give you a tour, if you'd like. There are some hidden gems on the island that most tourists never see." Chloe hesitated for a moment. She had planned to spend the day alone, but the prospect of exploring the island with Max was too tempting to resist. "That sounds wonderful," she said finally. "I'd love to see the hidden gems." After breakfast, Max led Chloe down a winding path that hugged the coastline. They walked in companionable silence for a while, the sound of the waves and the calls of tropical birds creating a serene backdrop. Chloe couldn't help but steal glances at Max, wondering what his story was. How had he ended up owning a resort on a remote Caribbean island? As if sensing her curiosity, Max began to talk about his journey. "I used to be a corporate lawyer in New York," he said, surprising Chloe. "I worked long hours, made a lot of money, but I was never happy. One day, I decided I'd had enough. I sold everything and traveled for a while, trying to find a place where I felt at home. When I stumbled upon this island, I knew this was it." Chloe listened, captivated by his story. "That's incredibly brave," she said. "It's not easy to walk away from everything you know." Max shrugged modestly. "It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. This place has a way of healing people. I've seen it happen with so many guests. They come here broken and leave with a new sense of purpose." They arrived at a secluded cove, where the water was a stunning shade of turquoise, and the sand was soft and white. Chloe gasped in delight. "This is beautiful." Max smiled, watching her reaction. "This is one of my favorite spots on the island. Not many people know about it." They spent the afternoon exploring the cove, snorkeling in the clear waters and basking in the sun. Chloe felt a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced in years. Max was a patient and attentive guide, pointing out the vibrant marine life and sharing stories about the island's history. As the sun began to set, they made their way back to the main lodge. The sky was painted in hues of pink and orange, casting a magical glow over the island. Chloe felt a deep sense of contentment. "Thank you for today, Max," she said softly. "It was perfect." Max looked at her, his expression serious. "I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chloe. You deserve to be happy." His words touched her deeply, and for a moment they stood in silence, the unspoken connection between them growing stronger. Chloe knew that her time on Isla del Corazon was going to be more than just an escape. It was the beginning of something new, something she hadn't even dared to hope for. Chapter 3: Exploring the Island. The next morning, Chloe woke up to the gentle sound of waves lapping against the shore. She felt a sense of anticipation and excitement, eager to see more of the island and to spend more time with Max. After a quick breakfast at the lodge, she found him waiting for her by the entrance, a warm smile lighting up his face. "Ready for another adventure?" Max asked, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Absolutely," Chloe replied, her own excitement mirrored in his gaze. "What's on the agenda today?" "I thought we'd explore the heart of the island," Max said. "There are some incredible trails through the jungle, and I'd love to show you the waterfall." "It's a bit of a hike, but the view is worth it." Chloe's heart leaped at the prospect of discovering more of the island's natural beauty. She grabbed her backpack and followed Max along a winding path that led away from the beach and into the lush greenery of the jungle. The air was thick with the scent of exotic flowers, and the sound of birds and insects created a symphony of nature. As they hiked, Max pointed out various plants and wildlife, sharing interesting facts and stories about the island. Chloe was captivated by his knowledge and passion for the place he called home. She found herself relaxing in his company, the barriers she had built around her heart slowly crumbling. After an hour of hiking, they reached a clearing where a breathtaking waterfall cascaded down a cliff into a crystal-clear pool below. The sight was awe-inspiring, and Chloe couldn't help but gasp in delight. "This is amazing, Max," she said, her eyes wide with wonder. "I've never seen anything like it." Max smiled, clearly pleased by her reaction. "It's one of my favorite spots. Not many people make it out here, so it's usually very peaceful." They sat by the edge of the pool, dipping their feet into the cool water and enjoying the tranquility of the moment. Chloe felt a sense of peace wash over her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time. She glanced at Max, grateful for his presence and the way he had opened her eyes to the beauty around her. "Thank you for bringing me here," she said softly. "I needed this." Max turned to her, his expression serious. "Chloe, I'm glad you're here. You deserve to find happiness and peace. Sometimes, it takes a change of scenery to see things more clearly." Chloe nodded, feeling a lump form in her throat. "I think you're right. This place, it's helping me heal." They sat in companionable silence for a while, the sound of the waterfall providing a soothing backdrop. As the afternoon sun began to dip, casting golden rays through the canopy, Max suggested they head back to the resort. On the way back, they came across a small, rustic cabin nestled among the trees. Chloe's curiosity was piqued, and she asked Max about it. "That used to be an old caretaker's cabin," Max explained. "It's been abandoned for years, but I've been thinking about fixing it up. It has a lot of potential." Chloe peered inside, imagining the possibilities. "It's charming. I can see why you'd want to restore it." Max smiled. "Maybe one day." There's something special about preserving the history of this place. As they continued their hike, Chloe couldn't shake the feeling that her time on the island was transforming her. She felt more alive, more connected to the world around her. And she knew that Max was a big part of that change. When they finally returned to the lodge, the sun was setting, casting a beautiful glow over the ocean. Max walked her to her bungalow, and as they stood on the porch, Chloe felt a surge of gratitude. "Today was incredible, Max. Thank you for everything." Max looked at her, his expression tender. "I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chloe. There's still so much more to see and experience. Tomorrow, how about we take a boat out to the reef? The snorkeling there is amazing." Chloe's eyes lit up with excitement. "I'd love that." As Max said goodnight and walked away, Chloe stood on her porch, watching the stars begin to twinkle in the sky. She felt a sense of anticipation for the days ahead, knowing that each new adventure with Max was bringing her closer to healing and finding a new sense of purpose. Chapter 4: Secrets Revealed. The days on Isla del Corazon passed in a blissful blur of exploration and adventure. Chloe found herself more and more drawn to Max, not just for his rugged good looks and charm, but for the depth and kindness she saw in him. They spent their days snorkeling, hiking, and sharing meals under the stars, their bond growing stronger with each passing moment. One evening, after a particularly beautiful day spent exploring the vibrant coral reefs, Max suggested they have dinner at a secluded spot on the beach. Chloe eagerly agreed, her heart fluttering at the thought of spending another evening with him. As they walked along the shore, the setting sun casting a golden glow over the water, Chloe felt a sense of contentment she hadn't known in a long time. They arrived at a cozy setup with a blanket, cushions, and a picnic basket waiting for them. "This is perfect, Max," Chloe said, smiling at him as they sat down. "Thank you for doing this." Max shrugged, his eyes twinkling. "I just wanted to do something special for you." They enjoyed a delicious meal of fresh seafood, tropical fruits, and a chilled bottle of wine. As the stars began to twinkle above them, Chloe felt the urge to share more about herself, to open up to Max in a way she hadn't with anyone since her heartbreak. "Max," she began, her voice soft. "I feel like I've been holding back a lot, and I want to be honest with you. I came here to escape a painful breakup. My fiancé called off our wedding a month before the big day. It shattered me." Max listened intently, his expression one of empathy and understanding. "I'm so sorry, Chloe. That must have been incredibly hard." "It was," Chloe admitted, her eyes misting with tears. "I felt lost and betrayed. Coming here was my way of trying to find myself again, to heal." Max reached out and gently took her hand in his. "I'm glad you came here, Chloe. You deserve to find happiness and peace. Sometimes, it takes going through the toughest times to truly appreciate the good ones." Chloe squeezed his hand, feeling a warmth spread through her. "Thank you, Max. You've helped me more than you know." Max took a deep breath, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "There's something I need to share with you, too. Something I haven't told many people." Chloe's curiosity piqued, and she nodded for him to continue. "A few years ago, I was engaged, too," Max said, his voice tinged with sadness. "Her name was Emily. We were happy, planning our future together. But one night, we had a terrible argument. She stormed out, and that was the last time I saw her. She was in a car accident on her way home. She didn't make it." Chloe's heart ached for Max. "Oh, Max, I'm so sorry." "That's heartbreaking." Max nodded, his eyes reflecting the pain of his past. "It broke me, Chloe. I blamed myself for a long time. That's when I decided to leave everything behind and come here. This island became my sanctuary, my way of healing. And now, it's brought me to you." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their shared confessions hanging in the air. Chloe felt a profound connection to Max, their mutual pain and healing drawing them closer together. "Max, I'm grateful you shared that with me," she said softly. "It means a lot. I think this island has a way of bringing people together, helping them heal." Max smiled, his eyes filled with gratitude. "I think you're right, Chloe. Meeting you has been a gift. You've brought light back into my life." Chloe leaned closer, her heart pounding in her chest. "You've done the same for me, Max." In that moment, under the starlit sky, they kissed, their shared pain and newfound hope binding them together. It was a kiss filled with promise, with the belief that they could find happiness again, even after all they had been through. As they pulled back, their foreheads touching, Chloe felt a sense of peace and belonging. She knew that this island, and Max, were helping her heal, one day at a time. Chapter 5: Island Romance. The days following their heartfelt confessions brought Chloe and Max even closer. Their bond, forged through shared pain and the healing magic of Isla del Corazon, deepened into something neither of them had expected but both had secretly hoped for. As their connection grew stronger, so did their romance, blossoming like the vibrant flowers that adorned the island. One sunny afternoon, Max surprised Chloe with a romantic outing. He led her to a small, secluded cove that was accessible only by boat. The cove was a hidden paradise, with crystal clear waters, soft white sand, and an array of colorful coral reefs just beneath the surface. "This place is amazing, Max," Chloe said, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the breathtaking view. "How did you find it?" Max smiled, a hint of pride in his eyes. "I discovered it when I first bought the resort. I wanted to keep it a secret, a special place just for moments like this." Chloe felt her heart swell with affection. "Thank you for sharing it with me." Max set up a picnic under the shade of a large palm tree, and they spent the afternoon lounging on the beach, talking and laughing. The chemistry between them was undeniable, each moment spent together intensifying their feelings for one another. After their picnic, they decided to snorkel in the cove's clear waters. Chloe marveled at the vibrant marine life, feeling a sense of awe and wonder as she swam among the colorful fish and coral. Max stayed close by her side, their hands occasionally brushing underwater, sending shivers of excitement through her. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, they returned to the shore. Max built a small bonfire, and they sat together, the warmth of the flames and the sound of the waves creating a perfect, intimate atmosphere. "Chloe," Max began, his voice soft and filled with emotion. "I never imagined I could feel this way again. You've brought so much joy and light back into my life. Being with you feels like a dream." Chloe felt tears of happiness welling up in her eyes. "I feel the same way, Max. This island, and you, have given me hope and happiness that I thought I'd lost forever." They leaned in, their lips meeting in a tender, passionate kiss. It was a kiss that spoke of promises and new beginnings, of healing and hope. Chloe felt a sense of completeness, as if she had found the missing piece of her heart. As they pulled back, their foreheads touching, Max took her hand in his. "Chloe, I know it's only been a short time, but I can't imagine my life without you. Will you stay here with me, on this island? Will you be a part of my life, my world?" Chloe's heart raced, her eyes searching his for any sign of doubt. But all she saw was love and sincerity. She smiled, feeling a surge of happiness. "Yes, Max. I'd love to stay here with you. This island has become my home, and you've become my heart." They embraced, their future together seeming as clear and beautiful as the waters of the cove. Chloe knew there would be challenges ahead, but with Max by her side, she felt ready to face anything. In the days that followed, their romance continued to bloom. They spent their mornings exploring the island, their afternoons working on small projects together, and their evenings wrapped in each other's arms, watching the sunset. One day, while working on restoring the old caretaker's cabin, Max surprised Chloe with a question that took her breath away. "Chloe, how would you feel about turning this cabin into our home? A place we can call our own, where we can build a future together?" Chloe's heart soared at the idea. "I think that's a wonderful idea, Max. I can't think of a more perfect place to start our new life together." As they worked side by side, Chloe felt a sense of purpose and fulfillment she had never known before. Each nail hammered, each plank of wood laid, was a step towards their future, a future filled with love and happiness. The island, with its beauty and magic, had brought them together and given them a second chance at love. And as they stood together, looking out at the horizon, Chloe knew that their island romance was just the beginning of a lifetime of adventures and cherished moments. Chapter 6: Finding Home. The cabin restoration project brought Chloe and Max even closer, their teamwork and shared vision for their future solidifying their bond. Each day, they poured their love and effort into transforming the old caretaker's cabin into a cozy, inviting home. It was a labor of love that reflected their growing commitment to each other and the life they were building together on Isla del Corazon. One bright morning, as they put the finishing touches on the cabin, Max took a step back to admire their work. "It's perfect, Chloe. We've created something truly special here." Chloe smiled, her heart swelling with pride and affection. "We did it together, Max. This place is a reflection of our love and the new life we're starting." As they stood in the doorway, looking out at the lush greenery and sparkling ocean beyond, Chloe felt a deep sense of contentment. The island had become her sanctuary, a place where she had healed and found love again. And now, it was her home. To celebrate the completion of their cabin, Max planned a special evening. He led Chloe to a secluded spot on the beach where he had set up a candlelit dinner under the stars. The gentle sound of the waves and the soft glow of the candles created a magical ambience. "This is beautiful, Max," Chloe said, her eyes shining with happiness. "Thank you for everything." Max took her hand, his gaze filled with love. "Chloe, you've brought so much joy and light into my life. I'm grateful every day that you came to this island. I want to spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you've made me." Chloe felt tears of happiness welling up in her eyes. "I feel the same way, Max. You've given me a second chance at love and a home where I truly belong." Max reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Chloe's breath caught in her throat as he opened it to reveal a beautiful ring, the diamond catching the light of the candles. "Chloe Collins," Max said, his voice filled with emotion. "Will you marry me? Will you make this island, this cabin, our forever home?" Chloe's heart overflowed with joy as she nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Yes, Max. 1,000 times yes." Max slipped the ring onto her finger, and they embraced, their hearts full of love and promise. As they stood together on the beach, the stars shining brightly above them, Chloe knew that she had found her true home, not just on the island, but with Max. Their wedding was a beautiful, intimate affair, held on the beach with the waves as their backdrop and the island's lush flora as their decor. Maria and the other resort staff, who had become like family to Chloe, were there to celebrate with them. Chloe walked down the sandy aisle, her heart pounding with excitement and love. Max stood waiting for her, looking handsome and happy, his eyes filled with adoration. As they exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for the rest of their lives, Chloe felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had brought them here. After the ceremony, they danced under the stars, surrounded by the people who had become their friends and family. The island's magic, which had brought them together and healed their broken hearts, now celebrated their union. In the months that followed, Chloe and Max settled into their new life together. They continued to run the resort, welcoming guests and sharing the island's beauty and healing powers. Chloe's travel blog flourished as she documented their adventures and the love story that had unfolded on Isla del Corazon. One day, as they sat on the porch of their cabin, watching the sunset, Chloe turned to Max, her heart full of happiness. "I never imagined that coming here would change my life so completely. This island, and you, have given me everything I ever dreamed of." Max smiled, pulling her close. "I feel the same way, Chloe. You're my heart, my home. I can't wait to see what the future holds for us." As they sat together, wrapped in each other's arms, Chloe knew that they had found their forever home on Isla del Corazon and in each other's hearts. Their journey had been one of healing, discovery, and love, and she couldn't imagine a more perfect ending to their island romance.